Hey house guests, welcome to today's Big Brother 16 updates and spoilers. Our house guest of the day is Jababe Thompson. I'm so sorry if your name is not Jababe, but I'm happy if it is. So anyway, Jababe wants to know, how far do I think Donnie is going to go in this game? And you know what? At first I thought Donnie was going to be in a lot of trouble this week. But now I'm thinking he might fly under the radar, and I'll tell you why in this spoiler. And also, do I think that they're going to keep Victoria around until the end? And I think she has a really good chance of making it possibly even to the final two, because you know Derek is thinking he doesn't want to be in the final two with someone like Cody or Zach or something. He wants someone who is going to give him a guaranteed victory. Alright, so let's dive right into the spoiler because there's a lot to talk about. So there was a double eviction last night. I hope you guys know that. Bye Jocasta, bye Hayden, maybe we'll see you soon, and maybe we won't. Julie was a little vague about the future of the jurors. So the rural jurors. It looks like Donnie got hurt in last night's POV. He had to be carried away from the competition, and I believe he said that he had to go in the diary room during the commercial, during last night's show, and they were just like checking his heart and stuff. But I think he also hurt his ankle, so that's not cool. But I think he's gonna be okay, or at least I hope so. So when the feeds came back after the show was over last night, there was mayhem in the kitchen. Nicole was calling people out left and right. She was like to Frankie, "Why are you staring me down right now?" And Frankie was like, "I'm just looking at how naive you are." He said that he was keeping Zach the whole entire time, so he doesn't know why she's so shocked right now. Really? The whole time? Okay. So she also called out Christine for calling her and Hayden a power couple. She's like, "That's not cool, Christine." And she said how she put up Zach for the both of them, and she just didn't like Christine's behavior this week. So this whole time Zach was also taunting Nicole. He's like, "Nicole, let's start an alliance and then make up lies about everyone." He was dancing around, saying her name, and then just her breaking point was when he was asking her if she wanted him to make some food for her. He was like, "You want an egg sandwich? You want some French toast?" And she was just like, "Zach, leave me alone!" So she walks away crying. I don't know, I think an egg sandwich sounded pretty good at that point, but she walks away crying, and she goes into the beehive room, and Christine followed her in there. She's like, "Nicole, the guys played us against each other this week." And Nicole is like, "I just don't know what to do anymore. I don't know what to think. I'm all over the place." So she's like, "I'm gonna be honest with you. Cody tried to start an alliance with me, Hayden, and Derek this week. It had a name and everything." So Christine is like, "I'm gonna be straight with you too. I was approached to flip my vote just last night," which is like true, but still it's like, there were a lot of lies in there. So they conclude that Cody, Frankie, and Derek are the ones who are responsible for flipping the vote. Not really so much emphasis on Derek though. They're really pissed at Cody and Frankie. So I don't know why Derek always gets away with everything, but anyway, they apologize to each other. I don't know how sincere this was, but we'll see. So speaking of Cody and Frankie, they took Zach into that fire room and they scolded him. They're like, "Dude, we know you have final two deals with everyone. We know that you're telling everyone all of our stuff. You're spreading around all these lies and telling people all this information. Stop the BS." And Zach's just like, "Oh man, I screwed up. I'm totally effed." So, I mean, this whole conversation was very lighthearted, but they're like, "Come on, bro, we just saved your ass, so you better start playing the game and stop sleeping all day." So then Derek, Caleb, and Victoria came in, and they were like, "Yeah, seriously, man, stop making Nicole cry. It's not cool. Be a human." So then Derek was talking to Victoria, giving her instructions for the week. He was like, "Okay, Victoria, Nicole and Donnie are the enemies this week." And she's like, "Why?" But he was like, just they are. So he also said, "If one of the guys win HOH this week, we're putting you up on the block as a pawn, and you need to throw the battle of the block." And she was just like, okay. So that wasn't too hard to convince her. It's like Devin and Paula all over again. But he was like, yeah, we'll use the power veto on you if one of us wins, and if we don't, whatever, you're still gonna be safe. So it's just sad how quickly she's just like, okay, I'll do it. So Caleb was talking to his bros, Frankie, Cody, and Zach, and he was sharing some doubts that he has about Christine. He was like, you know what, I'm thinking Christine definitely would have stuck with Nicole and Hayden if the chips had fallen that way. I don't think she's loyal to us. He was really sketched out how she ran off into the beehive room after Nicole when she was crying. And he's like, I don't think she's with us. And Frankie was trying to defend Christine to these guys. He was like, Christine is a hero. She went against her friends Nicole and Hayden this week to help us and blah, blah, blah. And Caleb was like, I'm not buying that. And he was saying there's got to be some truth to what Nicole and Hayden were saying during the double eviction. There's no way that that was all false. So Frankie leaves the room, and after Frankie leaves, Caleb is like, yeah, there's no way that Nicole was lying about Frankie and Christine. It's got to be true, at least somewhat. So it seems like now that Zach is still in the house, there are two sides fighting for him. It's like Derek, Cody, and Caleb versus Frankie and Christine. So that fracture in the detonators is even deeper now. They tried to keep Zach to, bring everyone back together. It's like they had a baby to save their marriage, but it's just not working. So while talking to Derek, Zach was like, you know what, man? I just realized that Frankie has been playing me this whole time. And then when he was talking to Cody, he was like, Frankie. So it looks like those speeches that Hayden and Nicole made during the double eviction are really stirring some stuff up. They really had a strong effect on these people. So Zach was talking to Cody again later. He's like, I'm totally done with Frankie. I'm gonna act like everything's cool, but it's not. And he also said, I'm 100% Cody now. And they agreed that they trust Nicole over Christine and Frankie at this point. I think it's more than trust on Zach's end, because he keeps joking, or not, about having a showmance with Nicole. He did admit earlier in the season that he was crushing on her, and I think it's still there. So he's like, all right, Hayden's out of the house, he's out of the way, so now we can have our showmance. And she's just like, get away, Zach. So now comes the time where Derek is going to BS Nicole about what happened this week. So he's like, you know what, Nicole? The votes just weren't there to evict Zach, so we just had to go with the flow and go with the majority. So Nicole is still blaming Cody, Frankie, and Christine for this fiasco. Hello, what about Derek, the person that you're talking to right now? Guilty as hell. So she said to him that she would still take him to the finals because she knows that he's there to play. He's serious about it. Really? I really hope that she was just saying that to his face and she wasn't serious, but who knows. So it's time for the second HOH competition of the night. And because it went on during Big Brother After Dark, we were treated to some solo Beast Mode Cowboy. So it was just cringeworthy. He was like, oh y'all, add me on Facebook, Caleb Reynolds, I want to be friends with you, I want to be friends with all of you, I love you. Oh my gosh. So anyway, the winners were Nicole and Christine. So all of the guys were crapping their pants because they don't know what these girls are going to do. So Nicole pulls Zach aside. She's like, you're safe this week. And she tells him how she was told that Zach tried to start a 5-person alliance just a few days ago. But she couldn't remember the name, the detonators. That's what she was talking about. Remember, Frankie and Christine made up that lie to cover their butts? But I'm just thinking to myself, if she had remembered the name, Zach would have been like, oh, what? What are you talking about? That's been going on for weeks. But she couldn't remember. So Caleb got his HOH basket because he was HOH for about 15 minutes last night. So he got a nice letter from his mom, he got some photos of his family, a shirt, and no food, because don't forget, Caleb is on slop for another week. So he was like totally upset about his basket because, first of all, he felt like the cameras were not pointed at him while he was reading his letter, and that is not okay. Also, he was really expecting some candy or like a slop pass. You're on slop. Get over with it. Victoria has the same punishment as you, and I haven't heard her complaining about it. So I think he went in the diary room to actually complain about it. That's just really sad. So Nicole and Christine, the new HOHs, went into the Beehive room to talk about nominations. So first, right off the bat, they agree they're not going to backdoor each other this week. Whew. For them, anyway. So Frankie busts into that room like 30 seconds after they go in there, and he is looking desperate. So he's like, all right, I'm going to be honest with you, Nicole. I was working with the other side of the house this week, but they're a bunch of idiots. So Nicole's like, I don't even know who the other side of the house is. So Frankie tells her it's Cody, Derek, Caleb, and Zach. So then Frankie is like, yeah, that's the other side, and Christine and I have been cut off from that alliance because you called us out on national TV. So Frankie is like, you need to nominate the 4 guys, ladies, the 4 guys on the other side. So Nicole's like, well, that's nice and dandy, but how do I know that you're not going to flip again? So Frankie's like, oh, just give me a chance. I'll show you this week when I vote them out. So Frankie leaves the room, and Christine is like, okay, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to put up Donnie and Zach. And Nicole's like, all right, I'm going to put up Caleb and Victoria, and I'm going to possibly backdoor Cody this week. So, of course, Christine reports this to Frankie right away. He's like, oh, I'm not going up. Yay. All right, so next. There was a very important discussion between Zach and Nicole last night in the Beehive room. Where else? So Zach was like, Nicole, what are you planning this week? And she's like, I feel like you're just fishing for info, so I don't want to tell you. But Zach was like, I'm going to be straight up with you. Frankie needs to go this week. He's been playing me all along. I don't like him anymore. I want to see him leave. So in an attempt to gain Nicole's trust, he spills all of his alliances from day one. He's like, I'm going to share my big brother life with you in 5 minutes. So he tells her about the Bomb Squad, Los Tres Amigos, his final 2 with Frankie. He's like, I was under a Frankie spell. I would take everything that I heard from Cody and Derek and tell Frankie. He told her about his final 3 deal with Frankie and Christine. And last but not least, he told her about the detonators and how it formed during Cody's HOH week, and Nicole's like, what? I was told that you tried to form that 3 nights ago in a desperate attempt at staying. So Zach is like, nah, that's been going on for a while. So Nicole tells Zach a little bit about what's going on in her game, and she's like, well, I'm gonna tell you, Frankie and Christine tried to make an alliance with me and Hayden this week. And she also told him about the rationale, which was her alliance with Hayden, Derek, and Cody. And she's like, yeah, you were going home this week. You were definitely supposed to go home. So they shared all this information, and then they agreed, okay, we're going to work together. I hope I can trust you, and I think this is going to be really interesting. I think they would make a really great alliance if they could actually trust each other, and it would be even more awesome if they would pull in Donnie. So, Team America got their mission last night, and America chose for the 3 of them to all play a role in convincing one house guest to go up on the block as a pawn and then get them evicted. So Derek and Frankie were talking about it, and they're like, it's too hard. Wait, it's so demoralizing because there's no way we can do it. So I don't know if they even told Donnie about it. I didn't see them tell him, but maybe I just missed it. Let me know in the comments. I feel like they definitely had to have told him, but I guess it was a non-event. So let's talk about the HOH room reveal. Let's shift gears a little bit. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but Donnie was not there. He was sleeping. Before this was all going on, while they were waiting, he was like, Nicole and Christine, is it cool if I go to bed? I don't want you to be upset. They were like, It's totally cool. We know you go to bed early. Don't worry about it. So Nicole got a letter from her friend Caitlin. She got a Chris Young CD, clothes, photos, beef jerky, and lots of other snacks. She really likes that beef jerky. Christine got a letter from her husband Tim, who was like, don't forget about me, okay? And she got the Rocket Summer CD, photos, of course, Doritos, and a bubble bath. Ooh. So, moving on. Zach was talking to Cody, Derek, and Caleb, and he shared part of his conversation with Nicole. What are you doing? I was so excited about that alliance, and now I'm just like, what the heck? So he told them how he told Nicole all about his game. He was like, yeah, I told her about the detonators, and they were like, why did you do that? So he was like, no, it's cool. Nicole's trustworthy. Christine and Frankie are the snakes. And he told them how Frankie threw all of them under the bus to Nicole, because Nicole did share that with him. So he's like, I want Nicole to nominate me this week with Frankie, and then I'm going to throw the battle of the block so that Frankie is still nominated. What? So it seems like Zach does actually want to work with Nicole, but he just can't keep his mouth shut about certain things. He didn't tell them his whole conversation with her, but still, like, come on. So Derek goes ahead and talks to Nicole, and he's like, yeah, Zach went right from your chat and told us all about your conversation. Nicole was pissed. So then it got a little bit better, because he was like, okay, so Zach wants you to nominate him with Frankie, and then he's gonna throw the battle of the block. So Nicole's like, that's awesome, but I'm a little hesitant, or a lot, to trust Zach. He's crazy. So Caleb comes in the room, he's vouching for the plan. He's like, yeah, Zach definitely said that. I think he's for it. So Nicole decides to drop a little bomb on Caleb. She's like, remember last time Frankie was HOH, and I said that Amber was like blowing up the alliance to me? Yeah, well, Frankie made me lie about what she said. So Caleb is like, what the F? I'm gonna punch Frankie in the face. So he's like, I totally made a mistake putting up Hayden last night. So he's really regretting it. But he's like, you know what? I'm gonna step up to the plate. Nicole, you can put me up instead of Zach, and I will throw the BOB. And Nicole's like, yeah, I trust you more than Zach. I'd be totally down to do it. So, wow. Let's just take a minute to say, wow. So then Derek and Caleb were up late, as were a lot of other people. But Derek was really egging Caleb on. He was like, yeah, when you throw this competition, you should be like, this is for Amber. So Caleb is totally feeling it. He doesn't just want to throw this competition. He wants it to be epic. Seriously epic. He just wants to like sit on the floor and like make this speech about how Frankie's a snake and his parents told him not to talk to snakes or something. I don't know, like, don't talk to stranger snakes, I don't know. But he wants to make this whole speech and like totally ruin it for Frankie. So, where am I? This morning, Caleb told Donnie about the plan, because Donnie's like, yeah, I'm probably going up on the block. And of course, he's also limping around because he hurt his ankle. So Caleb's like, don't even worry about it. I'm gonna be up on the block too, and I'm gonna throw the competition to you. So Nicole goes ahead and warns Christine, like, look, I'm thinking about putting Frankie up. I'm thinking about putting up your boy. And Christine's like, well, at least you're giving him 2 chances to be safe. Also, Christine is like, oh, I can't stand Frankie, but I feel like she's just saying that to Nicole. So it's time for nominations, and just as planned, Nicole puts up Caleb and Frankie, and Christine put up Zach and Donnie. So, whoa. A lot of people went back to sleep, but Derek was telling Frankie, I feel like Caleb is kind of pissed at you, but I don't know why. So Frankie's like, do you think he's gonna throw it? And Derek's just like, well, I haven't heard anything about that. I don't think so. So then Frankie's like to Derek, I'm thinking I want to tell everyone the real reason why I'm here in this house. And Derek's like, whoa, man, do you really want to do that? So Frankie is like, Caleb, let's have a heart-to-heart. is there any part of you that is thinking about throwing this competition? Caleb is like, what? No way, man. Why would you even think that? So Frankie's like, I'm not gonna go into it right now. I'm gonna wait until the competition's over, but I wanna share some info about my real life with you and, you know, heart to heart. So he's like, I'm not just playing this game for myself. I'm playing this for a lot of people. Caleb is like, yeah, so am I. And he points to a picture of his family. So I'm thinking that Frankie wants to tell everyone how he's planning on using the prize money to build all these schools in Africa, which I'm sure that he probably is planning on using some of his winnings. But I think that's really creepy that he's trying to guilt people into keeping him. And yeah, he was making fun of Amber for the same thing a few weeks ago. So they didn't even start the Battle of the Block competition as of right now. So I'm assuming that it's going to be a night competition. Definitely check back. I'm going to post the winners in the info at the bottom of the info for this video when it's over. So check back later, and I'll be talking about all of this glorious stuff tomorrow. So until then, much love.
Edit.